Hi everyone. Now that we have in the interview posts thus far had a look at the analogy of our minds or consciousness as the factory or system or machine that is currently existent in our environment or ecosystem as the physical body, and how we are essentially changing and transforming our factories as the mind, as consciousness, instead of this parasite sucking the very life out of our beingness and physical body, changing and transforming it into and as seeds that we're planting within ourselves and as ourselves, that we're tending to assisting and supporting to grow and develop and expand as the process of birthing life from the physical. Within this, we in the previous post had a look at taking the whole analogy into and as the greater or bigger scale, changing and transforming everything that you are disassembling in your mind or consciousness factory, and changing and transforming it into and as a seed of and as yourself that you're going to tend to and assist and support to grow and develop and expand. And within that, change our relationship to our ecosystem or environment as the physical body and our beingness. And this same process is what's going to happen in this world system, money system, relationship to everything and everyone else within this physical existence. I mean, each one of us that are walking this process of birthing life from the physical and realizing how we are our own seeds that have to plant ourselves, tend to ourselves, live ourselves into being as we grow, develop, and expand as living expressions of life. That within this, we're going to become the new seeds within this physical existence that have to plant ourselves within the world system, money system, within this physical existence, in tending to our relationship to the world system, money system, in how we're going to change and transform it to becoming a tree of life, and how we're going to change thus the external environment or ecosystem by first individually each one of us becoming plants that grow, that expand, that develop, changing the ecosystem or the environment in the small, and then eventually in the great as the entire world system, money system, as the collective mind or consciousness, as the collective factory being disassembled and changed and transformed into and as the tree of life. Now, I understand that this analogy that we utilized makes the process sound easy. And within that, quite interesting and fun. And for most part, it is. I mean, it's quite exceptional when you're walking through your mind, your consciousness, and, like the example we used in the previous post, where you have these thoughts that were part of your bricks of your mind factory or consciousness factory, such as, I'm not worthy, and you, in your awareness, decided to change that brick into a seed of a statement of who I am, such as, for example, Where we went from the thought of I'm not worthy and changed it into a commitment to live of I decide who I am in every moment of breath, and I do not accept and allow such a thought to determine or control or affect who I am. And so you commit yourself to live that. Now, the first point is, for example, the planting of that seed, which is through your commitment statements. And then the tending to that seed to grow, develop, and expand is you actually living it in your day-to-day application. That process is what's really awesome in terms of realizing that I have the awareness, the ability, and thus the responsibility to change me. And, it's going to be the same in this world system, money system. We're going to start standing up and standing together within what is it of this world system, this money system that is not serving humanity, this physical existence in equality and oneness. And that's the reference that one can utilize in one's relationship to the mind as well. What thoughts, what backchats, emotions, feelings, how are they consequentially affecting and influencing and determining who I am, where I am not the directive principle of who I am, but being controlled by my pre-programming as consciousness or the mind. Now, as we've said, one have to investigate both the good and the bad because they're equally consequential, and the positive even more so. Now, in all of this, getting to the final point of where we started within this whole series, which was the mind, being, spirit, and physical body trinity, and how we had throughout our reincarnations, throughout our lifetimes, accumulated consequence as our minds that reflect or represent as mirror our inherent nature or beingness, and how that determined our physical living, and from the within, so the without, that we would then accept and allow this world system, this money system, to continue existing as is. And therefore, here getting to the point of what I mentioned earlier as well, the analogy that we use sounds interesting, sounds fun, but the process is going to be difficult. It's not going to be easy to walk through consequence. Consequence in itself is not so great at all. And, when sometimes look at your mind and what comes up within it, and, as we've explained, what we've done is create more consequence for ourselves through hiding the negative or the bad or the dark or evil things with these positive smoke screens. So, when you're going to face the mind or consciousness, you're going to face everything, and that's the good and the bad. So, to realize that, this is going to be a process to walk, but to remember within this what it is that you're walking for yourself for the first time. This is really the only practical, common sense way that we're finally going to get to our original beingness, to our real life force as the physical body and this physical existence. Within disassembling your mind or consciousness factory, brick by brick, thought by thought, experience by experience, memory by memory, just like we're going to get to know this world system, money system, business by business, money system networking by money system networking, the channeling of resources, the distribution of resources, to see how we're going to change it all to serving equality and oneness as what's best for all. So in interviews to come, we're going to walk more, such practical examples for you to understand how we're going to change the mind or consciousness into seeds that one have to tend to grow and develop and expand, like becoming the tree of life, equalizing the equilibrium within your beingness environment and physical body environment. How we're going to walk that in the equal money system's relationship to humanity and this physical existence as a whole. But getting back into where we started off within the series, the mind, being, spirit, and physical body trinity. Your mind or consciousness is your self-consequence. This world system, money system, is our humanity, collective consequence. And we have the process to walk. Everything is structured, outlined, specified, and you're guided through your mind or consciousness within Desteni, the Desteni processes, EQAFE, all the interviews and material is available. All that is needed or required is the realization and decision of the human to realize our responsibility to our self-consequence within and our part within the collective consequence without. So within the reincarnation process now as well, here we have done interviews that I'll reference in the description of this interview. The dawn of the new age and children of the future, where we went into detail in terms of how consequences changed with now your mind and your consciousness being inverted into your beingness and physical body. We also explain within interviews and material. Another document that I would suggest reading that I will also reference in the description of this interview is Manifested Consequence by Lao Tzu, that came through the portal and shared the now existent relationship to consequence and how to face it, how to walk through it, what it is, and how we are going to face and have to take responsibility for our self-consequence within and without, if we want to see any real substantial change within and as ourselves, our lives, and this physical existence as a whole. So I won't in this interview go into detail with regards to the changes now in reincarnation, as that was explained within the interviews The Dawn of a New Age and Children of the Future. Within this, what I will explain though is, and this one can also reference for oneself in the Life Review interview series, where when you now die or cross over, there's no more going into separation as how heaven existed in the past, in terms of simply being recycled and leaving your consequence behind within this physical existence, within the human beings whose lives you touched directly and indirectly, and then, simply going through the motion of and the separation of from soul, from being or spirit into the physical body, from the physical body into the mind, from the mind to soul or being or spirit again, and over again, just postponing self-consequence and existential consequence. This is no more how reincarnation exists. Reincarnation or the process now that's being described in the 2 interviews I mentioned earlier. But when or if or as one do not reincarnate, what happens is when you die, you now face your what is referred to as your life review. You directly see the extent of the consequence that you've lived, that you've created, and that you've manifested in your life experience on Earth. And I mean, if you listen to the life review series, this is extensive. I mean, you'll within the life review series also realize and understand how ignorant human consciousness really in fact is, of the extent to which your mind really affects your beingness, your physical body, other human beings' lives, and extending into humanity and this physical existence as a whole. And how you are then within and from the interdimensional existence aligned back into a physical point or a physical part within this physical existence, to take responsibility for the consequence that you left behind, that you didn't take while you were alive within this physical existence. And the extent of the consequence that one faces when you die is unimaginable. At the moment, within human consciousness, inconceivable. But all of this is explained in absolute detail within the Life Review series that I would suggest investing in. And what is quite fascinating is with human beings that have died, how they realize only when it's too late what it is and the opportunity and the potential that they missed within their life experience in and as their very physical body that was always right here, what it is that they have taken for granted of themselves, their physicals, this physical existence. And there's not one being that meaning each being that have died with the realization that they have walked in their life reviews have died with absolute regret, extensive with what it is that they had missed and the opportunity they had missed that they will never have again. And that the process in the interdimensional existence is an infinite time more difficult than what one have to walk here within this world, in this reality. Because here, all you have to face is your own mind within your own physical body and commit to aligning yourself with sorting out this world system and money system that we're doing in the equal money system, or through the equal money system. In the hereafter or afterlife, you're facing existential consequence. That's like facing a existence, meaning that if you think the life that you have now, those that have the opportunity and ability to listen to this interview, if you think your life is bad now, you have got no idea what waits for you on the other side. And so therefore, we ourselves in the life review interviews as well emphasize not dying. They say to human beings listening to interviews, don't die. You definitely do not want to face the extent of consequence that you will when you die, and that you will face an eternal regret that will always be with you, with the opportunity that you've allowed yourself to miss that's always been right here. So therefore, don't die. Take care of yourself, your physical body, your mental state and condition, and So we really suggest, making more of this time, the breaths that you have within this life, and dedicate this one life to yourself, and so to all. I mean, we have an opportunity here, and something that we have not yet discovered or explored within our existence, which is what is really within and beyond the mind or consciousness. What is the life within our beingness, within the physical body, that we have essentially never yet before tapped into, because we've always been in the illusion that the mind or consciousness energy is life, when now with the opening of the portal, realize that it's actually all in reverse, that it's been the very physical. To get access to that life force in the physical, we have to get through the mind into the physical. And as we have outlined the process in all of the interviews thus far, it's going to be a process. So we invite you to join us and to make something more of yourself and this life than one could ever have conceived or imagined. Thank you very much.